back to Unconquered Training, volume number 15. As you can see, the beard is coming along. I'm getting a little concerned. They've been talking about 6 months. This puppy's going to be down. I'm going to be like, I'll be able to be like get a show with like ZZ Top or something. Just like that.
You know that I actually met that dude in a lift one day.
Oh, really?
And I looked at him and I said, "You look like the guy from ZZ Top." And he goes, "I am ZZ Top."
That's it. It's coming.
Oh my God.
Days.
He was a legend.
Oh man, it's getting heavy. You guys might have noticed driving down the coast, if you've been out and about, maybe trying to get to do your necessary things and stuff, we've seen a lot of the butterflies, blue butterflies flying around the place. It brings us to, what's the last thing that goes through the butterfly's mind after it hits the windscreen? What do you reckon it is?
I've got no idea.
It's us.
yeah.
Happy days. Anyway, that's the dad joke for the day. Carry onwards. So, WOD number 15, we're going to start with this. Again, I like to start with these joint circles. You know, just to get that stuff nice and warmed up, it's really, really important that we get those 30 to 40 repetitions each way through those 6 joints. Should take you a good 5 minutes to get through that. We're going to go into a 3-minute skip or a 400-meter run. Now with this skip, because we are going to be, as a scaling option for the running today, we're going to be skipping. We're going to be skipping for a fairly long time. Pretty tough to skip like that for a really long time. So maybe on this practice part, you'd have seen we've practiced occasionally where I've been running, like mimicking that running movement, but turning that rope over as just a bit of an option so I can take a bit of that impact away from the body a little bit, so one foot remains
Those
planted.
pecs are getting so big, mate. They're like bouncing while you're jumping.
That's all we do is just work out now. We're getting massive. We're going to go into those banded pull-aparts just to warm up for our part A of our workout. So banded pull-aparts, we're going to superset that between palm up, palm down, around about 30 seconds to a minute rest in between. If you're with Richie in the Zoom classes, he'll take you along. So that banded pull-aparts, palm up, so hands are up again. We know what we talk about. A little bit of tension in between those bands, palm up to that nipple line, and then 20 reps, palm down. That's a real good burner, 20 reps. And then a good 30 seconds to a minute rest. Run through that again. Alrighty, it's going to prep our shoulders for our dumbbell press, 4 sets of 12, and our lateral shoulder raise. Now we're going to do that as a superset. So I'm going to go from one to the other, take a break. One to the other, run through it 4 times. A couple of different ways that I can do my dumbbell press. Alrighty, here in that hammer position, pressing up and overhead, no movement of the legs, hip width with those feet driving up and overhead. Another way, if I only have a single dumbbell, I can rack that in that front rack position again, push my elbows forward underneath the dumbbell, and from there pressing up and overhead there. If I have a barbell and I don't have dumbbells or a kettlebell, same types of things. You put that kettlebell on the outsides of those forearms. If I have a barbell, remember I just want to wrap those elbows just in front. We're pressing, so elbows just in front, but I still want a vertical forearm there so I can press up and overhead, keep that rib cage nice and locked down, keep those glutes locked on nice and tight. Into a lateral shoulder raise. So shoulder raise, holy smokes, how can I do that? So out from the side here, I like to start with them in front and shoulder raising out to the sides there. So nice shoulder burner before we get into some burpees a little bit later on.
Those dumbbells are different weights.
Those dumbbells are different weights.
You did well, Bill.
Yeah. So 4 times through that, probably looking at about 90 seconds break in between those 2 things. No more than that. You can go a little less than that if you want to. Probably no less than 45 seconds. So, you know, give yourself a good break in between that sort of stuff. 45 seconds to 90 seconds as a rest interval. And then we'll get into our workout for the day. So workout for the day, bit of a cardiovascular one today. Get that running happening, get those burpees happening, and then a bit more running. So 1.6 kilometer run. 1.6 Ks, that's going to take somewhere in, what's the mile? They broke the mile, or one mile is like sub 4 or something 4 minute mile. Yeah, that's for like a freakishly,
very fast.
It's like some Kenyan sprinting down the road or going down the road for some milk. That's how they run just normally. 1.6 kilometers, like almost double that, and then maybe a little bit more for some of us. So somewhere in that 7 to 10 minutes, at the slower end. for a 1.6 kilometre run, so I can run out for 4 minutes, run back in if I don't know the distances around home. Burpees, sprawl down to the ground, chest to the ground, jump on up, scaling option, step out, step up, another option, athletic, step out, take the press out, 50 reps. Alrighty, straight back into another 1.6 kilometre run. So a lot of, that's a high heart rate workout. You're moving. It'll play on the mind a little bit, that one. It'll be a tough one for the day, but still a bit of fun. We need to still do these types of things to challenge ourselves and get through the work. Scaling option for this, I might pull that run down to 800 meters. Again, we talked about the skipping earlier, where I'm going to be running on the spot, turning that rope over. So just something to challenge, that motor system, so I can work that. And again, you might just set yourself a time there. Set yourself a time of like somewhere around that 6 to 7 minutes for the skipping, or I'll halve that distance. If I have a stationary bike at home or a rower, stationary bike, let's double the distance, so 3.2 kilometers. If I have a rower, probably looking at around about 2 Ks, maybe just under that 2 Ks. It's a little bit quicker on a rower, so maybe 1,800 meters.
Awesome. On
that rower would be a great way to have a go at that one. So a couple of different ways that you can attack that workout. Alrighty, we're going to go into a little bit of a pump up at the end here. So part C, we're going to go bench dips for max reps, reverse lunge, so into the legs, upper body into the legs, max reps, that's for 60 seconds. This one's, you won't go for 60 seconds up there, that'll cook yourself pretty quickly there. But reverse lunge, max reps for 60 seconds, and then a plank, 60 seconds. We rest 30 seconds in between, so I dip, 30 seconds rest, reverse lunge, 30 seconds rest, plank. From there, I take about a minute rest and go back to the top. Maybe 1 to 2 minutes rest. You're going to do that 1, 2, 3 movements 3 times over.
Awesome.
Alrighty, what are we looking at here for our bench dip? So I can make it difficult by popping that out in front of me and having my legs, if I fall, I break myself there. So there, down, and press out. So that would be like an RX movement. Here, pop those feet out in front of me, lower and press out. You'll get to about 10 or 12 reps and you'll start really feeling the burn and that sort of stuff. 30 seconds rest, reverse lunge. So I'm going to step back, drop that back knee. So I've got those nice right angles. Come on forward. So nice step back, you feel a nice stretch in that back hip flexor. And I'm really thinking about pushing through my back toe, pushing through my... Pushing through my heel to push myself straight up and step forward. Alrighty, so 60 seconds of that. And then down into our plank position, palms down on the ground, or up onto that push-up plank position, up onto those toes. 60 seconds. Take a minute break in between, go back to the top, work your way through that 3 times. Tough day.
That's a big day.
That's a big
awesome.
day.
Awesome day.
It'll be an exciting day. You guys will be pretty sore for, was it Easter Friday?
Woo!
Be pretty cooked for that one. Happy days.
Yeah, boo.
Hope you guys will enjoy. Have a good time. Okay?
Peace out.